Welcome into OutKick the show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fabulous Wednesdays, wherever you may be across the country. Had to think there for a minute. Last show of the week, I'm taking my kids out of town to go to Atlanta Braves games over the long weekend. And so I will be back with all of you on Monday. But we got a lot to dive into here. Right off the top, third dildo has landed in L.A., hit Sophie Cunningham in the leg after she said, be careful, an incredible aim. We will discuss. We've got ESPN announcing a deal with the WWE. Also, yesterday's event that I talked about with all of you, which was the fact that ESPN was going to be buying basically the NFL Network, all of the complicating factors associated with that. I probably need to write long form on it. We had a bunch of different stories that are out there, but I want to start with the soon-to-be launch of, about 2 weeks from now, the new ESPN streaming service. And this was paramount attention because the WWE and ESPN announced a partnership that will see premium WWE events, that's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, if you're a WWE fan, now be produced by ESPN. And it seems to me that ESPN is in a really tough spot, but I think it's illustrative of the larger issues associated with streaming and sports fans in that we're all getting screwed and we're paying a lot more to get a lot less quality. And so I want to start with this big question on streaming. And I think ESPN, because their new streaming service starts in 2 weeks, is really a fascinating window into this. We're all having to pay. Right now, do we have Bobby Barack's breakdown where he was talking about how many different services you now have to pay for in order to be able to get just the NFL. And if I could get that sent to me so that I can look at it because it's too far away for me to see on the screen, you know now that you need ESPN, which is cable, or you can pay for the ESPN streaming, which I'll get to in a second. You need CBS. You need Fox. You need Peacock. You need Netflix. You need Amazon. All, I believe that is the minimum in order to be able to watch. I think does Paramount have some exclusive games now too, potentially, just to be able to watch the NFL. This is way too complicated, and it's way too expensive. And if you are just a diehard NFL fan, you used to be able to sit down with one remote control, and you could easily watch everything. Now you need a massive amount of different subscriptions. And I think this is the challenge that ESPN is finding itself in. I don't understand who the potential customer is for this new ESPN streaming product, right? Who is the mythical individual out there that makes sense as I kind of work through it? I am going to have probably a cable satellite subscription until the day I die. But all ESPN is doing is they are taking the cable channel and they're now going to charge $30 a month to someone who doesn't want to have a cable subscription but does want to get ESPN. Who is that marketplace? I mean this honestly. I just don't see that market as existing. My kids can find any sporting event, and I bet the 20-somethings that work on OutKick can find any sporting event streaming online in like 20 seconds. Anything under the sun, they can find and watch it basically for the cost of a Wi-Fi connection. Now, I understand that technically that is illegal, but young people don't see that as an issue. So I don't buy that there's some huge collection of people out there that are desperately wanting ESPN programming and are not willing to pay for cable and satellite and are going to pay $30 a month to get this streaming service. It just, I don't buy that that is a reality. And so I think this is a product without an addressable market. because even if you were in that marketplace and you're like, well, I'm not going to pay $150 a month for cable and satellite anymore, I'm going to pay $30 a month for ESPN, and you still wouldn't get all of your games because the ESPN offering is not some supreme sports offering. All you really get is Monday Night Football. You get basically a third of the NBA. You get all of the SEC. So to me, the only group that makes sense is for ESPN streaming subscribers is if you are a diehard SEC fan and all you care about is the SEC, then maybe it makes sense to pay $30 a month for the ESPN product because you get basketball, football, and you get baseball, among other sports all rolled in here. Otherwise, I don't understand what the addressable marketplace is here. Are there that many people that only want SEC sports and don't care about the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the ACC? Maybe. But to me, if you're a sports fan, you want everything. This isn't that. So I think this is a mess. If ESPN truly wanted to go straight to streaming, they would need to burn the boat, so to speak, and say, hey, we're going to walk away from the existing model we already have, and we're only going to charge, I don't know, $10 a month for the new ESPN streaming service. I can then see people cutting some cable and satellite subscriptions, but how many people are interested in football and don't care at all about baseball or hockey or whatever other sport, soccer, that is out there? Most people, I think, are like me who are sports fans. I like everything. Now, I like football the most, but I want to be able, with one remote, I want to be able to sit down and watch every sporting event under the sun. And it seems to me like we are moving away from that. And I think the ESPN streaming offer just makes no sense, to say nothing of the fact that I also believe it's going to be seasonal. So I asked, and let me go in here right now. I said, hey, if I'm missing something, and I haven't even looked at these, so I'm going to try and respond in real time. I said, hey, if I'm missing something, tell me what I'm missing, because I am open to the fact that I get things wrong. I try to make sure that this, and I probably need to write a long form piece on this. But what am I missing? Ty, I said click like. Brian says, I feel like I'm missing something. Who doesn't already have ESPN? And why is the cost 2 to 3 times more than any other streaming app? I need to talk to someone who plans to sign up. I mean, I think that's a fabulous question. Let me go in here. Sorry, I told you to click like. So I'm going to go into most liked replies, which I think is an interesting way to try to be interacting. It's Disney, therefore whatever it comes up will be top down, not driven by the market, full of woke nonsense, and doomed to fail. That is Scott McKay. You forget about the Disney, Hulu, ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus. Okay, but that's like $40 or $50 a month, and it still isn't the answer. That is from Survive in Advance. That still doesn't include any of the other sporting events that I want. Colby says it's simple. ESPN had a lineup of Mike and Mike, The Herd, First Take. Then woke took over, and little by little, there's nothing left but former athletes like Kendrick Perkins and white liberal nut jobs. Until they go back to the old days, anything they try will fail. $30 a month, Caden says. That was Colby B. Caden says $30 a month for everything SEC is a good deal. But is it? Because right now you can have a cable satellite subscription and get all of it for roughly $10 a month as a part of an overall cable and satellite subscription. That doesn't feel like a very good offer to me at all. You're going to pay $360 a year for SEC content that you basically got already as a part of your cable and satellite subscription. And then, again, if you only care about SEC sports, I can see an argument for this. I love the SEC. If you told me I could only watch one athletic universe for the rest of my life, I probably would pick SEC. But I still want to watch Ohio State play Texas. That's on Fox. It's not included in the ESPN app. I still want to watch all of these major out-of-conference games. I still want to watch the NCAA tournament. I still want to watch sometimes the Stanley Cup. I still want to watch the anyway, you understand my point? Like, I love the SEC, but it's a small fraction of the overall audience that I would watch. This is an interesting point. The only thing I can possibly think is that they're trying to squeeze a YouTube TV or Fubo, but then you're not getting any other channels. I agree. It doesn't make sense. Again, Brian said, I watch the featured group of golf on a weekly basis as part of $10 a month from ESPN. It's more background noise for work than a home setup. Can't imagine I'd pay the $30 to keep it. Anyway, so I think Michael kind of hit it here. There are likely some not too smart people that will pay for it, thinking it provides other content or benefits. I won't be one of them, but I'm sure there will be a few. ESPN is a dying brand and will squeeze the last few dollars they can. This is important. I am told, and maybe this will change going forward, and ESPN has not been very forthcoming about this, and I would suggest that we should be writing about this at OutKick. I am told that you will get WrestleMania, for instance, as a part of this new WWE ESPN deal with a regular cable satellite subscription. But ESPN isn't saying that in their public releases. It feels to me like they're trying to do what Michael just said in the comments. They're trying to confuse people and get people to sign up for the ESPN channel digitally when you already also have the channel on cable. They aren't giving any premium offerings right now on the streaming service that is different than what they already have on the cable channel. And this is the exact opposite of what streaming usually represents. Does that make sense? To be fair to Disney, when they launched Disney Plus, they brought you The Mandalorian, and they said the only way you can get this is by being subscribed. Netflix, every month, Happy Gilmore 2 most recently, puts out really good original content that you can't find anywhere else. Amazon Prime is all about having original content you can't find anywhere else. There is zero original content you can't find anywhere else on this new ESPN streaming offering. I don't understand how the average sports fan is benefiting from this. In fact, it just feels like you're getting gouged and not getting any benefit. I don't understand this at all. And I do think the cost, I've been on this. This is something that I got right, and people were angry at me, and they said, you're wrong. I said, as soon as the cable satellite bundle collapses, you're going to end up paying way more for way less. Sports fans are getting screwed now. You have to sign up for so many streaming offerings now to be able to legally watch your favorite teams and your favorite sports, that everybody is paying way more, and we're getting less for all the money coming out of our pocket. It doesn't matter what you're a fan of. I mean, heck, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan because my boys are. Do you know how confusing it is to figure out how to stream and or watch Atlanta Braves games in Nashville, Tennessee, where I live? I don't even understand. The blackout rules are infuriating. And I know that a lot of you are hockey fans and you deal with this, or you're NFL fans and you deal with this. The average sports fan is not being well served by 21st century technology. And I will go to the wall on that. I will debate anybody on it. I don't think anybody's doing a great job of it. And the way that the rights are all pieced off in so many different directions, it didn't matter when they were all in a bundle as a part of cable and satellite. It was easy. You could sit down and you could find any game, and if you basically had a cable package and if you had the sports package, you knew you could watch everything. Now you got to have like 10 different streaming and cable subscriptions and everything else, and it's still complicated to figure out. I'm sorry. I don't think that it's a good result. I really don't think it's a good result for the average sports fan. And maybe nobody else is going to talk about this. I care. I care because as a kid growing up, we got to go to 1 or 2 games a year. It was a big deal. Usually not very good seats. And cable was huge for me. I've talked about this. Watching WGN back in the day. Watching WTBS back in the day. I still call it WTBS. WZTV, free Reds baseball on the Fox affiliate in Nashville. Being able to watch so many different sporting events. I just look at it and I say, are younger generation sports fans being well served by streaming? I don't think so. And I would say, and some of them are going to watch this, to the leagues and to the teams, are you building a next generation of fans? I'm not sure you are. I think you are gouging the current generation of fans. Guys, I go to games now, and if I go buy a beer and a couple of hot dogs and some nachos and a couple of Gatorades or Cokes for my kids, it's like $80. Who are the dads and moms? That's not even counting what it costs to get into the stadium. Who are the dads and moms that can afford to take a family of 4 or a family of 5 to sporting events on a normal person's salary and not treat it as the modern day equivalent of going to Disney World? I've been at stadiums all over the country. I have sat, when I did Dixieland Delight, my first book, I was sitting in the nosebleeds of every SEC football stadium. I just really question legitimately how we are moving forward in sports and whether we are alienating a younger generation that just doesn't care because their entertainment options are way better and they are not going to be signing up for ESPN. And honestly, I feel like this new ESPN offering, I think one of the commenters made a really good point. I just feel like it's designed to take advantage of people who don't understand that they already are getting the content and they're going to gouge them for $30 a month, $360 a year. That doesn't feel like a way to create a good, lasting relationship. I'm old school in that, hey, I want to provide a good value for you. I want to provide you reason to come back and listen to me again and again. I want to have a bigger audience this year than I did last year. And the only way I know to do that is to put out a good product and grind on it every single day at a fair, affordable, reasonable price. Do you feel like sports is doing that for the average fan? I don't. I really don't. I mean, you can hop in the YouTube comments. You can hop in the TikTok comments. You can hop in the Twitter comments. I'll go and I'll try to read. I'm going to try to do more of these responsive elements in the show where you guys ask good, smart, original questions, funny questions, whatever. I'll have the team going through. But I'm just scrolling through right now, looking at the top voted comments and trying to respond to them. And I think you guys have raised good issues. Okay. Much less serious. A third green dildo has arrived on a WNBA floor. Last night at the LA Sparks game against the Indiana Fever, I think Caitlin Clark is still out. This is basically the only story that is happening anywhere in the WNBA with Caitlin Clark out. It's either Caitlin Clark 1, dildo 2. I saw this come out. I have been reached out to by, this is breaking news, the green dildo throwing community. Now, I know this is inevitably going to somehow end up in me being arrested, but I am going to be trying to do an interview with these guys. I want to tell their story. I want America to hear it. We may have to do like a 60-minute style interview where we black out their faces and where we change their audio. And I may end up in a jail cell because I won't give away the names or information about the people that I'm interviewing. This is Big J journalism I'm talking about doing here. And they told me in advance yesterday, hey, green dildo is coming. Then they followed through, green dildo on the court. They have told me again where the green dildo is coming. I said, I need proof of dildo. Anybody can be reaching out to me. They can be making any kind of outrageous, outlandish claim. You need to tell me where the dildos are coming in advance, no pun intended, and let me know what to expect. And last night they delivered. The proverbial dildo toss was as they said it would be. I know where a dildo is coming tonight. If they follow through again, these guys have provided proof of dildo. You know, it's like proof of life. If you've got a hostage, show somebody holding up a photo with a newspaper on it with something to prove that you haven't killed him yet. I said I need proof of dildo. As a Big J journalist, I need to know that I can trust you, that I'm not being spammed, that I'm not being led astray. Right now, you can go subscribe, go buy this book, go buy Balls, and I have pledged that I will help Delbert Carver, who has been charged with dildo tossing. I'll get him the best legal team. I had a friend from law school reach out to me after I talked about this yesterday. She said, I work at a firm with the best criminal defense attorney in the country. He saw your clip yesterday, and he said he wants to be a part of the dildo defense lawyer team. I'm not kidding about this. All of this is 100% true. So I've made contact with the green dildo community. One of the top criminal defense attorneys in the nation, according to one of my law school classmates from Vanderbilt, has reached out and said, hey, I am all in. I will be the Johnny Cochran of your, dildo defense fund. I mean, this is turning into quite something. And so I expect for another dildo to make it out tonight. And if they have provided proof of dildo and they are honest with me, then I expect that we will be engaging potentially in the biggest sit-down interview since Frost Nixon. So just put it on the horizon out there. Okay, a couple of other things. Bud Light. I was on with Sean Hannity last night, Fox News. I was on with Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity said, Clay, I have an idea for you. He said, why would we not just have Bud Light sign Sydney Sweeney and erase the entire Dylan Mulvaney mess in one fell swoop? And I said to Sean Hannity last night, that's brilliant. So probably there are some beer executives who will watch or see this. If I ran Coors Light, if I ran Miller Lite, if I certainly ran Bud Light, I would say, go get Sydney Sweeney, put her in a tank top, put her in a bar, say she likes football and drinking beer, and I guarantee you it would be an astoundingly effective advertisement for you. You could potentially erase, without directly apologizing, the entire stigma of the Sydney Sweeney, of the Dylan Mulvaney era with one Sydney Sweeney ad. Put a hot girl in a tank top, have her drinking a beer. Remember the Coors Light twins back in the day? America has not changed very much. The average American beer drinker likes football and pretty girls. Don't overthink this. I don't know why I have to do everybody's business. I don't know why I have to solve every issue. If I ran Bud Light, my marketing strategy would be twofold. Football and pretty girls. I would not worry about anything else. Give me football, give me pretty girls. Ideally, make me laugh a little bit, but mostly give me football and pretty girls. Sign Sydney Sweeney. Bud Light's entire era of Dylan Mulvaney disgrace would almost change overnight. I'm telling you, get Sydney Sweeney signed. All right, let's see here. We got... let me make sure I've got my questions. You can hop into the comment section. I think we have, by the way, let me see. We have the dildo odds. Let me go ahead and put these up. Dildo odds while I was talking about it. These are the latest odds on what color dildo, on whether it's going to be green or not. Again, I am confident that there are more dildo tosses coming so far based on my proof of dildo conversations with the green dildo community. Never would have expected that this would be a conversation that we would have. All right, funny comments, and then I got to run for meetings. If that dildo came across state lines, this may be Rico. You guys are geniuses. That is really, really funny. That is Bipolar Punt 5721. The comments on Twitter, in all honesty, on the dildo posts are pure gold. You guys have had me belly laughing a great deal. Well done. How is it trespassing when you have to have a ticket to get in? They have charged my guy Delbert with trespassing in the state of Georgia. That's probably a decent defense. I've not read the trespassing statute, as it were. I would submit they may be accusing him of trespassing, meaning the dildo trespassed, right? When you throw the dildo onto the court, you have trespassed onto the court. Do I feel like that's a very likely charge that would stand? No, I do not. But that's my best guess without having read, wait for it, the Georgia Penal Code. Allowing the Commanders to get over $1 billion in public funds and $5.6 billion in free rent and tax breaks is the furthest thing from fiscal conservative principles. Let the owners fund most of the Commanders Stadium regardless of the name. At the very least, let the people of D.C. vote on the funding package. I don't have any issue with that. If you want to oppose taxpayer support for publicly funded stadiums for any sports franchise at all, more power to you. My argument here has simply been that if all of that is going to occur, the federal government does have, in the case of the Washington football franchise, an argument that they should get things for the taxpayer support that they are giving. And similarly, if the team is willing to do that, there are strings attached with accepting federal funds. Ask Harvard, ask Brown, ask UCLA, ask all of the colleges that are being settling with the Trump administration right now. If they never take dollars, like Hillsdale College, more power to them. But as soon as you take federal dollars, that comes with certain obligations. Oh, man, this is funny. Kenny Hampson. Should we start referring to Sidney Clay, should we start referring to Sidney Sweeney as Adolf Hitler? This is really funny. This is an all-timer from Kenny Hampson. Should we just start referring to Sidney Sweeney as Adolf Hitler? You guys are geniuses. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the commentary. If you like and enjoy anybody's comment, click like, go subscribe, favorite the questions that you like the most, and you just may find yourself on this fabulous program making me laugh by calling Sidney Sweeney Adolf Hitler. Love all of you. I'll be back next week. I'm headed down to Atlanta to go watch the Braves play with my kids. I'll be on Clay and Buck Thursday and Friday if you're radio show listeners, so you'll be able to hear me there. In the meantime, DBAP unless you need to SBAP. This has been OutKick, the show.